masters of speed. This is Formula One.
Yo guys, how's it going? Hope you're good, hope you're well. It's another set of video. I'm man down, let's go. So starting P3. You have to forgive me today. I'm a little under the weather, so it's gonna be hard. Real hard. Love COTA as a circuit though. COTA in F2 cars though isn't the greatest thing I've done, but it has to be done, right? Remember, heavy braking zone coming up. Make sure that just before the 150, and try not to lock those rears. Got to take it so easy, so carefully through there as I just lock the rears. So easily done. The understeer through this section is so bad, but it is what it is. It's such a tricky corner this one because the car just wants to run out to the right, and nobody wants that. But that's the end of lap one. Brake in just before the white line, in a straight line, otherwise you lock up. Turn 1, turn 2, unfortunately you can't keep it flat because you will run wide. And turn 3, 4, 5, trying to get a car back in for 6, 7. Just so bad. Like, I've said it before, and I've said it millions of times before. I think if these F2 cars drive like this in real life with the understeer that they have, those F2 drivers really do need a medal, because these are awful. Much better on the braking then. Didn't lock the rears. Just see how much this car wants to run wide through this section.
That's a new fastest lap of the race.
51.7. I'm happy with that. It's probably not going to finish the fastest, but I'm happy with it. As I said, and I've said it before, still learning a lot of new things with obviously line only. I've got a long way to go before I'm back to my line on pace. A long way to go. But for now, This'll do. This will do. Obviously we're running a lot more downforce than the AI. That's okay, because the AI doesn't struggle with, doesn't have to deal with downforce, tyre wear, tyre heat, etc, etc. It's just an aim of the game mechanics. It's only human participants that struggle with all that. Bit unfair, maybe, but it is what it is. Just got to deal with it the best way we can as I've gone deep.
Benavides has just set the fastest lap of this race.
It's mad. I'm literally sat by her sweating doing this. The sweat is dripping off me. Obviously with Christmas only a few days away, I hope I'm better. Oh, come on. Took that corner awfully. But yeah, COTA's COTA. There's not a lot to be said about COTA that hasn't already been said. You just got to make sure you take your time, because you can quite easily royally screw up, especially with no line. When you're learning no line, there aren't really any references for braking zones. A lot of it is just guesswork, and I'm not gonna lie,
Okay mate, this is the final lap of the race. Final lap.
with me being poorly, I'll work on it another day. It's a shame we can't go flat out through here. I mean, I suppose you could if you increase the front wings, but compared to what the AI are currently running, they're already high, you know. But again, it's your setup, so if you want to increase the front wings, you go for it. See, the setup's coming up next. And don't be afraid. Would love to hear from you in the comments. If you think the setup is good, the setup is bad, the setup is indifferent, let me know. Take all criticism, good or bad, because even with bad criticism, you know, you can still learn. And sometimes all work and no play can make Jack a dull boy. Seeing things from another person's perspective is always a good way to go as well. Oh, I've gone massively wide. That's okay, it's the last one. To the line. Setup's next.
Carlin have pulled off a sublime performance to secure the top step of the podium today. So, Davide, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
It was down to one thing: consistent pace over everyone else out there on the track. We could spend a great deal of time talking about race and gyro strategy, what else so cool on the track, but at the end of the day, the difference here was down to simply being faster on track than everyone else. Amazing skill on show.
And there you have it, today's winners. Having raised some of the biggest names in F1 to date, Carlin have once again shown their expertise when it comes to recruiting new talent. No doubt today's winners have a bright future ahead of them. They certainly deserve it after today's performance. And so, driver of the day then, Davide Valsecchi, who do you think you'd go for?
I'd probably go for Zane Maloney. The team did a good job with the strategy to put him in the pack, and he was good enough to take the opportunities.
That's the end of today's race. Thank you for joining us, and I'm sure you'll agree it was a great race and sets us up nicely for the next instalment in a few weeks' time. Take care. From Davide and I, it's goodbye.
Yo guys, it is COTA. Apologies for my voice. I'm still man down. Really man down. Touched the man flu, but yeah, we move. Texas. If I'm going to try and only use the word understeer once, but it is what it is. Sector 1 is tricky. Sector 2 is okay. Sector 3, the last but one corner in Sector 3, it's a difficult one, as the car really does not like running that corner. It runs or wants to run extremely wide, but this is what I've gone with. As I've said before, this is a base setup, so you make it your setup, change things that you see fit, but yeah, this is what I've gone with. So on the front wing, I've gone with 39. On the rear wing, I've gone with 31. If you need more rear stability, you can take it up to 33. If you need more front end grip, take it up to 42. There's no problems running that, but I found this really worked for me. So yeah, it really helped, and this is what I went with. On the transmission then, going with 80-20. If you want, you can run 60-40, no dramas at all. I wouldn't recommend going 40-60 or 20-80. 60-40 or 80-20 works perfectly well. For this I'm running 80-20. On to the suspension geometry then. Standard right, left. There are some tricky traction zones around COTA, especially when tyre wear gets a little bit high, you know, usually past 20-25%. That's when the car kind of changes, or when you feel that the car changes, but you know, you can run some rear toe in if you want, some rear toe out, no problem at all. Take it up a couple. I know in my F1 car setup, I think I've got it on about 3 and then on about 16, which really helps. But yeah, for the sake of this base setup, I'm just running right, left. On to the suspension then. As you can see, the suspension is a firm boy, stiff boy. So it's 41 on the front suspension, 35 on the rear suspension. Gone with quite a soft roll bar. There's a lot of cornering to be done. Sector 1, Sector 2 and Sector 3 to be fair. That's what COTA is. It's the long, slow to medium, fast corners, which is not great for a car that really understeers badly. That's 3 times I've used the word understeer, and I don't think I've used it any less in any of the other F2 setups. So yeah, onto a front roll bar of 10, onto a rear anti-roll bar of 5. I've gone with a front right out of 34 and a rear right out of 38. Again, I wouldn't recommend taking it any lower than 34. You can do, that's up to you, but there are curbs in this circuit that can bottom you out, no problem at all. Sector 1, Sector 2 and even Sector 3 You need as much ground clearance as possible at this one. So yeah, this is what I've gone with. Onto the brakes. A standard, really, around 56%. ABS users, this need not apply to you. You could run 50% if you wanted to, but yeah, 56%. I had noticed that I was changing it during the race to 57, and there's a real heavy braking zone at the end of the start straight finish into turn 1, and the long back straight with a DRS zone before the end of sector 2. That's a real heavy braking zone as well, so just be mindful that when tyres degrade, there's less rubber on the tyres, so you do run the risk of increasing rear brake anti-locking and rotation. So when you get to a certain level of tyre wear, just increase the front brake bias, and that should aid you in no longer locking the rears. But again, only applies to ABS off users. On the tyres then, just going with 22.8 on the front left and right, and then I've gone with 22.5 on the rear left and right. And this has been the circuit of the Americas. I raced WOR there a few days ago. Soaking wet, like the worst weather I'd ever raced in, and yeah, it was a really good race. I like COTA, but COTA in F2 cars, for me, it's the hardest, probably the hardest race I've ever done, and I've done multiple laps, but just for the sake of this video, just 5 laps, and obviously a setup. It's extremely difficult. It's probably amplified the fact that I'm not very well, but yeah, it is what it is. But this has been COTA. Please do all that good stuff. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I had a wicked comment the other day of somebody sharing the setup with the changes they made. That was really, really awesome. Really loved seeing that, because I implore you guys to change the setup, make the setup your own. But yeah, let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Peace.